Yes, Angad, we can see your screen. Please continue.
Okay, okay. I am thinking right. Two times I have joined. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, here solution in the sense, right? It might be right. If you want to, this is a best practice. Anyway, we will be discussing elaborately solutions. Okay, right? It is a package of dependent applications. It contains all the information related to your project. There might be right. You have created some environment variables, right? You have created some desktop flows. You have created uh, cloud flows. Okay, if you have created individually, then we have to, if you want to move that whole project related data into another environment, how it is possible? Individually it is not a best practice. Okay, instead of that, we are going to create a new solution. Okay, and just I will show you demo. Just I'm selecting. And also publishers also, it is right according to your requirement, right? There are different type of solution is nothing but a different right? Suppose, right, invoice, there might be the requirement. Okay, you have created, there is the requirement as per business requirement. You want to create a you want to automate the invoice processing. For that purpose, you have created one solution. There might be another, right? Account creation, there might be account deletion, different processes. Okay, we are not going to use the same publisher for across all the solutions for in the same environment. Okay, how we are going to differentiate? Okay, that is the reason, as per your requirement, you can create the different publisher as per your business requirement. Okay, naming convention you should have to follow. Okay, just I'm creating new publisher demo, so that I can, suppose, if you are creating a solution, if you are creating a solution for auto invoice processing, you can select that. You can give the meaningful name. Okay, so that like why what is the purpose, later I will let you know. Okay, whenever you are moving into, if suppose you have created environment variables values. Okay, but whenever you are moving that into another environment, that time you should have to change the environment variable value, right? Suppose think bot id. Okay, that is common across all the processes, all the solutions. Suppose emails, support email to address, support email CC, support, okay, BCC. That time, right, the same names are available across all the solutions. Okay, but right, whenever you want to change that value, default value, that time, right, you will be getting confused, right? For which detail I need to change. Like there are so many. If you are giving that publisher name, different publisher name, so that like we can easily identify. Okay, for invoice process, this is the environment variable value I need to change. I will let you know that. Just demo, just I'm giving demo only. This one we'll be discussing elaborately, don't worry guys. Just refresh it. Suppose, okay, demo. Suppose, think guys, one more time, what is the purpose of solution, right? It is basically like whenever you are trying to move that whole project related information into another environment, then it is okay. Suppose, like, think we all are working for same process. Okay, like I will be implementing for some xyz feature, like you will be like Ashok will be responsible for some, like we want to integrate. That is the reason we can create one solution here. Whatever the cloud flows I have implemented under this, those flows will be available. Whatever the desktop flows like implemented by all the team members, those will be. That is the reason. Anyway, we'll be discussing elaborately on the solution. That is the main concept. Whenever you are appearing for an interview, also they'll what is solution, what is the different type of solutions are available, what is the difference between managed and unmanaged, we'll be discussing. See here, if you want to create a new, see here, agent. This is the agent in the sense. Right now, agentic process automation comes into the picture, right? This one. App, this is like Power Apps. Okay, anyway, as part of our training session, we are not going to discuss about this. Okay, Canvas application, model driven page. If you want to create any automation, see, cloud flows. Cloud flows, see here, there are different type of flows are available. Automated, instant, and scheduled. Custom connector will be discussing. After that, I will be explaining the custom connector. Okay, see, data flow. Basically, cloud flows and desktop flows, we can. Rare cases, we are going to create a custom connector. See here, if you want to create any desktop flow, you can. If you want to create any business process, you can see business process flow. Dashboards, this one, right? Power BI related. If you want to create any, if you want to integrate dashboards inside of your uh, Power Apps or like in email, you can use this one. See here, reports also. Security, see here, this will be. Okay, anyway, we are not going to discuss about security also. We are not going to create anything security reports even for the dashboards also. Majorly, whenever you are trying to integrate the Power Apps into your Power Automate, then we'll be creating this. Okay, see here more choice, component library, connection references. This comes into the picture whenever like uh, uh, whenever you are moving that your code into different environment, this comes into picture. Connection reference, right? What is the difference between connection and connection reference? See here, environment variable also. If you want to create any environment variable, what is the meaning by environment variable? It is specific to that particular environment. Suppose I told you there are three types of different environment. Basically, like most of the clients, most of the organizations, they are going to use test environment, dev, and prod. Might be right. Application URL might be different for different environments like dev, test, prod. Okay, if you want differentiates that one, you can see there are different type of data types. Decimal number, JSON, JavaScript, object notation, test, yes or no, Boolean. Right? If you want to trigger the but in attended or unattended, you can use data source. If you want to, right, there might be different data source. Whenever you are selecting, you can. Here also data source, you have to select the connector. Connector we will be discussing. Suppose you want to create an environment variable based on the SQL server. Okay, based on the SharePoint like this. Okay, suppose cancel it. There are different type of environment variables we can create here. Okay, test, number, boolean. Okay, based on the connector. Okay, see here this one, secret key password. But anyway, we are not going to use this one also really. Like anyway, we'll be maintaining that into credential in CyberArk. But secret key, it is like different thing, right? That is specific to only for some cases. Okay, templates. If you want to create email template based on, you can use this one. See here. Others also it will be. These are the different things. Agents. Okay, it is already available. If you want to create a work queue item, workflow, see, it will be redirecting the other. See, again, I need to select this. Okay. Work queues also will be discussing that comes into like pad, Power Automate desktop, right? Here we are going to create a work queue. Then like we can add the data, and if you want to perform the actions, right, we can perform the work queue related actions through Power Automate desktop. Okay. Like whatever the cloud flows, whatever the desktop flows you have created, those will be appearing here. Anyway, as part of our training session, end to end use cases will be implementing by using solution concept. Okay, so that you will come to know what is the purpose of that solution. Okay, and we'll be discussing that elaborately. See here, automation center, right? It is see Automation in like other RPA tools, right? Whenever the process is running, if you want to monitor those runs, right, we will be automation center in Power Automate is a centralized AI powered hub designed to monitor, manage, and right various flows like both cloud and desktop flows, as well as work queues within a specific environment. If you want to monitor the cloud flows or desktop flows or work queues in a specific environment, right, we can go ahead with the automation center. Basically, see, when it is required, right, if you are working, suppose there, like you are working in a support, right, there might be multiple processes assigned to you, right, you want to monitor in that production environment, right, we can go ahead and we can select here. But if you are assigning, like if you are monitoring only one business, one run, then you don't require this as automation center. Okay, you are working as a support environment, like you are uh, monitoring some of the parts, that time it is required automation center. See here, run history will be current desktop flow runs, whatever the flows. Okay, this process map work queues, if you want to monitor any work queues, you can. Machines also, there are so many machines, right? In previous like whatever the client I work for, there are like 40 processes are available. Okay, 40 processes that is handed over to the support and developer, like there might be they are trying to migrate from one RPA tool to another. That is what we are working on that. Okay, if you want to monitor any errors, you can use this one. A builder activities also, because right, suppose A builder, like you have build you have some of the activities you have implemented by using AI builder. If you want to monitor those, you can. Okay, then process mining, anyway we are not going to touch this one. This is right high level one, but we are not going to till now I didn't work on this, but I will provide you the documentation. I will theoretically explain that. Okay, even AI hub also, it is artificial intelligent hub. One minute. See here, prompts, everything. This is right. Whatever the suppose models, AI models. Suppose I have implemented RPA test PDF model, right? If you want to extract the data from PDF, that might be like you are not able to achieve through pad or something. Okay, here also AI models. You can create a new AI model here. Okay, this one. Anyway, we'll be discussing that. Like some of the things we can implement by using AI models. Okay, gateways. First of all, what is the gateway, guys? Generally, do you have any idea about the gateway? Anyone is having any idea? Okay, let me explain. A gateway in Power Automate is a secure software component acting as a bridge between Microsoft Cloud Services and on-premises data source. Suppose I have a data in my local desktop. I want to access that data through Power Automate. How we can access? Suppose I have a data in SQL Server. I want to access that data. How we are going to access? I have a data in I have a data in Oracle. How I can access? I want to retrieve. I want to connect to the Oracle database. Then I want to retrieve the data. For that purpose, we are going to create a gateways. Okay, a gateway in Power Automate is a secure software component acting as a bridge between Microsoft Cloud Services and on-premises data source. On-premises data source. It enables cloud flows to safely access the local data such as file system or SQL database without exposing them to the public internet. Okay, whatever the data you are trying to retrieve, we are trying to retrieve from other data source through Power Automate Cloud Force without exposing, if you want to, without exposing those data to the public internet, right? You want to retrieve the data from some, on premises, that we are going with the gateways. That is the secure thing. Okay, right? Even here also, suppose we will create that even interviews also they will be asking what is gateway, what is the purpose of that, right? We can securely connect to the on-premises data source by using gateways. For that purpose, see here, we can create new gateway. We have to install also. After installing that, we have to provide that which data source you are going to connect. Suppose I have a requirement. I have Power Automate this as a business requirement. I want to connect to the Oracle database. Then I want to retrieve the data from one of the Oracle database table. For that purpose, we require to install the on-premises data gateway. Prior to that, there are some prerequisites also. If you want to retrieve the data from Oracle database, we should have to install the on-premises data gateway. Like for installing the on-premises, after installing the on-premises data gateway, we should have to install the Oracle related software where we have where you are going to configure the on-premises gateway. Like Oracle client, we should have to install ODBC. We'll be discussing that. One thing we'll be discussing our Oracle database and as well as SQL. Okay, these are the AI models as I told, right? As I told, right, if you want to create any artificial intelligent models, we can, but we'll be preparing one or two like that. Okay, this one, even see document related, these are the custom, this is already implemented by Microsoft. Extract custom information from document, these are pre-built models. See here, this one, structured data. Okay, these are right images. Extract all the text in photos and PDF documents. These are the pre-built models which was pre-built by Microsoft itself. Okay, prompts also, right? Nowadays, right, how we are going to integrate chatbots, right, through prompts, right? We have to create a prompts, right? Suppose, right, you are asking some question, right? Based on that, like you can, okay, these are the prompts: summarize test, extract information from test, these things. Okay, sentiment analysis, everything will come. Yeah, right. Then I am pinning all things so that will come to know. What is meaning by connection, guys? Generally, do you have any idea? Connection. Any idea, guys? Connection. Just term based on the term. Suppose connection. See, custom connectors. First, will be discussing the connections. Then, anyway, we'll be creating. Suppose I have a business requirement. Okay, I have a data in Excel, which was that Excel data is available in the one of the OneDrive. Okay, then how Power Automate Cloud Flow will be extracting, connecting to that Excel, right? How it is going to connect? Like we have to create a new connection here. Suppose there are different type of connect. There are more than 500 plus connections are available. Okay, suppose if you want to connect to the Salesforce, or if you want to connect to the ServiceNow, or if you want to connect to the SQL server, see here, what are the details? Suppose there is a business requirement, but that SQL server is right, that is hosted on some XYZ, right? For connecting to that SQL server, right, we should have to, what are the details we require to provide? One is the host name. Okay, there are two types of authentications are available for connecting to the SQL server: Windows authentication or basic. Windows authentication in the sense, suppose I'm Anki, right, suppose whenever I am trying to access that, right, that particular SQL server host, right, without providing the credentials, right, I can able to access. Suppose if there is a basic authentication, in the sense whenever you are trying to connect that SQL server, authentication was basic, you should have to provide the username and password. See here, this is the premium connector. There are two types of connectors are available, guys. One is two types of connectors. One is standard. Okay, this is standard in the sense, right? You can able to standard connectors. Basically, it is a Microsoft Office 365. right? Based on your subscription, it will be coming. But premium, you should have to purchase the license. Even licensing, right? I will be providing that information as well. In the interviews also, sometimes they will be asking what is the connector, what are the different type of connectors are available, what is the difference between standard and premium. Premium connectors, you should have to purchase the license. Okay, see here, it is coming premium, premium, premium. Okay, standard is Microsoft. Okay, SQL Server, Azure database for MySQL, PostgreSQL. Suppose if you are searching, it will be coming. See here, client certificate there are different type. SQL Server authentication, in the sense you should have to provide the username and password for connecting to that. Windows authentication, you don't require, right? Suppose if they are provided, admin has provided by right, you don't require to uh, provide any username and password details. Okay, this one, which database name, right? In SQL Server, for particular that host, there might be different data source, huge number of data sources are available. Right, you want to connect to the particular database, you should have to provide this. Gateways, I told you, right? Here also we should have to this one, gateways. This is the main purpose of the gateways. If you want to connect to the external data source, okay, you should have to configure the on-premises data gateway. For SQL Server, you don't require any prerequisites. Okay, it is the Microsoft product. Oracle, if you are trying to connect through the Oracle database through on-premises data gateway, prior to that, you should have to install the Oracle client and as well as ODAC components on that particular machine. Wherever you have configured the on-premises data gateway on that machine, you should have to install the Oracle prerequisites. Those are Oracle client and as well as ODAC components. We'll be discussing. I told you, right, there are two. SQL Server we can implement on use case, and for Oracle we can implement. Okay. See, suppose if you are selecting Oracle, it will be coming. Oracle, this also premium connector. It also same thing. You should have to specify the port, authentication, basic only. Okay, gateways also. This. Okay, there are different type of connections. Suppose through Power Automate Cloud 4, if you want to access the connections, if you want to access other data sources, like you want to access the Outlook, or you want to access the Gmail, right? You want to access the ServiceNow, you want to access the Oracle database or SQL database or Salesforce, prior to that, you should have to create a connection. It is a best practice. We should have to create a connection inside the flow also we can create, but it is best practice prior to whenever you are going to start. Suppose in some XYZ process assigned to you, some of your team members, maybe you are working as individual, or like you might be like some of the team members are working for a some business process, like individual or like multiple people are working for same business process. Prior to that, you should have to create a solution first thing. Okay, immediately solution. Prior to that, infrastructure, right? Right, which environment, what are the environment, on which machine we are going to implement. Okay, don't implement on on your local laptop. Better to, or even like if you are client, I mean to say, whenever you are working for a company, there might be like you are going to connect to the VDA, client VDA. Okay, there might be you have installed the pad and everything. Cloud flows, okay, we can do that, but pad like versioning will be different. Okay, you should have to identify that. We'll be discussing that later. Okay. Infrastructure, first thing, solutions. Prior to that, you should have to identify what is the name of the solution. You should have to follow the naming convention. Okay, even Cloudflow naming convention. Best practices will be discussing once we have completed all things. But whenever we are going to implement the cloud day-to-day sessions, we'll be following all the best practices. Okay. Work queues. See here, there are more than 500 plus connectors are available. Okay, if you want to create a new connection, see here, OneDrive, Excel, Business, okay, Salesforce, SQL Server, okay, from HTTP, okay. Custom connectors in the sense, I will let you know what is connector. See, as you know, they're like Microsoft as having more than like 500 plus connections are available, right? By using, by whatever the connections are available here, but by using those as per your requirement, you are not able to you are not able to create a connection. Suppose I have a requirement. Recently, I have a data in JD Edwards. Okay, I want to retrieve the data from that JD Edwards. But here there is no connection related to JD Edwards. How it is possible? Okay, there is no JD Edwards connection. But my requirement, some of the clients like there that connection, that connector is not available. But how I can achieve that? For that purpose, I am going to create a custom connector. See here, create from C, create from blank, create from Azure service. Okay, import, suppose you have already there, then if you want to import open API, you can import an open API from URL. Postman also, basically Postman, it is a basically Postman can be used for the testing purposes. It is also one like API testing too. Okay, import from GitHub. You have already created and that is available in the GitHub, you can import. Okay, custom connector, like there are some connections, whatever the connections provided by, whatever the connections are available in Power Automate, you are not able to achieve by using those connectors, then obviously we can go ahead with the new connector. 99% we are going to create from blank. See, just demo, continue. There are 5 pages, guys. Okay, but see here, general thing, you should have to specify the color also according to your requirement icon. If there is any description, what it is used for. Suppose I want to get customer data, I want to get countries list, I want to get employees data, I want to get something according to your requirement. See here, connect via on-premises data gateway. This is also important. JD Edwards, right? You should have to connect to on-premises data gateway. JD Edwards acquired by Oracle. It is a part of Oracle now. See here, there is HTTP, HTTPS. You have to specify this. Okay, you are host base URL. Then after that, like security, what is the authentication mechanism? No authentication, right? No. Nowadays, right, it should be authenticated. Basic authentication. What is the username and password? Okay. API key. If they have provided any API keys, your client, then they OAuth. This is OAuth will be different authorization. See here, client ID, URL, token URL, these things. Okay. Then definition. What is the definition? What it is going to do? Suppose new action. What action you are going? Summary, none, advanced, these things. Okay. I will try to provide one example for this code. But anyway, we are not. This is the dummy code. We don't require to write any code. Okay. This is custom connector APIs, application programming interface. Okay. Test. After that, we are going to perform the testing, guys. This is the one. Okay. I will take one example. I will let you know that regarding this. Okay. Custom connect. Message. What is message? What is meaning by message? See here. Message in the sense, right? Suppose I have installed I have automated one flow by I have created one Power Automate desktop flow. Prior to that, right, we should have to register that machine under here. Without registering, if you are implementing also, that is not, whatever the flow you have implemented, that is not available under here, my flows section, desktop flows. Okay, mission. On which machine, right? Suppose in the prod, right, you want to run your business process in the prod. Okay, that is available in on some prod VDA. That prior to that, that machine should be registered here through Power Automate machine runtime. Anyway, I will let you know that. Machine groups. What is meaning by machine groups? Even in UiPath or some other tool also, UiPath also you are registering mission. On which mission, right, you want to run the flow, right? You should have. Otherwise, how Power Automate will know? That is the reason. Machine groups in the sense, suppose might be in the prod, in the dev environment, you don't use the multiple machines for performing. Okay, in prod, whenever you after moving your process into production, right, there might be the requirement. There might be the requirement. Okay, like today, whenever the process you have moved like that time, right, transactions are low. Maybe in future the transactions got increased, means use volume of data is available in the prod. That is the reason we can create a machine and we can allocate multiple machines. Okay, in the sense if you want to reduce the processing time, we can use the machine group. See here, we can see machine group, we can assign multiple machines here. I will try to create some remote video. I will try, but I am not sure on that, but definitely. Basically, we are going to use these machines and machine groups. Okay. One like once you have implemented Power Automate Desk, whenever you are as part of Power Automate Desktop, prior to that, we'll be discussing it. How we can install the Power Automate Desktop, what are the prerequisites, how we can enable the extensions, and how we can register the machines. Don't worry. Catalogs, anyway, we are not going to discuss about this. This is different thing. Okay. Table C, data hours. It will be redirecting to here Power Apps. 1 minute. Predefined tables. Okay. Which is already pre-built by the Microsoft. See here, these are the predefined tables. Okay. This is account. If you want to create a new table, you can create. See, see, these are the 1 minute. See, these are the columns which are part of this. Okay. If you want to create a new table, you can create also. 1 minute. See here. Create new tables. If you want to create, you can create a new table. But anyway, we are not working in Power Apps. Whenever you are working for Power Apps, right, then you should have to require that. But according to your requirement, you can create. Okay, connections work queues. What is meaning by queues? Right? Queues, guys. What is the purpose of queues? See here, use work queues to store, prioritize, and distribute and process work items. Right? Queues can be used to store the data and prioritize based on the business requirement, and we can distribute the data to the different machines for reducing the processing time. Okay, click on this. This will be work queues overview. Okay, prerequisites. See public cloud, government cloud. What is the purpose of this? See here, increase efficiency and scalability, better resource utilization. Yes, basically say right. You can see maybe like there is one mission you have allocated, but like it is taking time to process those number of records. So you can add one more mission, we can utilize whenever that is free, that mission is completed, then that can be picked by some another thing like this. Okay, we will be discussing elaborately that one, how to like whenever through Power Automate desktop we are implementing this concept. At that time I will be explaining what is queue, what is the purpose, what are the different type of actions, how we can trigger that. More, you can click on discover all, then see here approvals. See, view the status of approval request. This is basically if you want to see here also it is coming already there. See here, suppose if you have received any response, any approval request, you can, if you send any, this one history, this thing, anyway we can integrate the approval. We can integrate the, we can implement the approval flow by using Power Automate Cloud. We will see that. Don't worry, I will show you. See here, discover all. Click on this thing. We can discuss approval solutions. We can discuss automation center. I told you just this is for the monitoring purpose. Suppose if you are working for a support, like you want to monitor all the parts which were assigned to you. Okay, we can, this one anyway. This is high level only, but I will whatever I know, so I will let you know that. See here, tables, credentials, manage all your credentials in this, connections, custom connectors, gateways, custom actions. Then UI elements, you can create the UI elements also here. Okay, cloud flow activity, if you want to monitor cloud flow activity, if you want to monitor the desktop flow runs, click on this. See here, just it will be, click on this. 1 minute, my flows, click on this. See here, this is the run. We will be discussing that also, how we can monitor, what is the purpose. See, click on this, just it will be redirecting to that run, and it will be wherever the error is occurring, it will be showing here. Okay, you don't worry, we'll be discussing that, how we can monitor, how we can run, how we can debug and everything. Machines we can register, we can discuss elaborately. See here, manage your desktop automation machines, create machine groups, or use hosted machines without adding the machine to the environment. Then if you are creating the Power Automate desktop flow, and the whatever the flow you have created in your machine without registering that machine to the environment, then you won't be able to run that particular flow through Power Automate cloud, but you can run through Power Automate desktop. Okay, work use prompts. Anyway, I will create one simple prompt and I will show you that. Till now, any doubts, guys? Is it clear, or like if you have any questions, please let me know. Anyone? Jahir, Prashanti, anyone? Any questions till now?
Do we have orchestrator tool over here?
No, no. Here, orchestrator will be treating as a Power Automate. Arpit, there is
Okay.
no separate orchestrator. Okay, that's what I said. Power Platform is an ecosystem. Power BI, okay, Power Automate, Power Apps. Power Automate, it is treating as a orchestrator. Like whatever the actions you are going to perform through UiPath. If you are talking about UiPath orchestrator, maybe some of the guys they are not aware of that, but UiPath orchestrator basically you are using for the orchestration purpose, scheduling purpose, okay, and scheduling and as well as right monitoring purpose, and you can store the assets also. I mean to say either credentials are like some like according to your environment, whatever the uh, variable values are changed, we are going to store there. But here, like we can use the Power Automate for the orchestration purpose. 1 minute. How to store the data in queue? Yes, we can create and we can do that. I will create one simple when once the actual class will start. 1 minute. Can create. Then we can either you can import the data. You can import the data through. Otherwise, you can add the data to that work queue. Like how we are going to do the data in UiPath. How we can add the data through Power Automate desktop also we can add. Otherwise, through Power Automate cloud also we can write. Is it clear? Any doubts still now, guys? Okay. Now, like I told you, right, we can discuss about cloud thing. Okay. Basically, see, create. I told you there are three ways to make a flow. Okay. If you are talking about Power Automate cloud, what are the different type of cloud flows are available in the Power Platform? One is automated cloud flow. Second one is instant cloud flow. Third one is scheduled cloud flow. I'm not talking about desktop or like a copilot thing. Okay, automated cloud flow, right? Suppose automated automatically, right? That cloud flow. I have a requirement. Just imagine whenever the email received from some my manager, some XYZ, I want reply automatically. Okay, that time. Otherwise, I have a requirement whenever I have received an email. If the if that email is having some multiple attachment, then after that I want to save those attachment in OneDrive or some XYZ data source that I want to trigger a flow automatically. Right. So third one, whenever I have a row added into my Excel file, then I want to trigger a flow. Fourth one, whenever I have a item, whenever I have received, I have assigned task, some XYZ. from other either from your manager or some expected person, then I want to trigger a flow like that. Instant in the sense this is triggered manually as needed. Suppose it is a button. Whenever you are clicking on that button, then I should have to that should have to run the flow. Okay, it is manual. Okay, schedule crowd flow, you choose when and how often it runs as per your requirement. Whenever you want to run at particular time or particular week, whatever it may be, then you can select. See here, there are different month wise, week wise, day, hour, minute, second. Okay, here basically see, whenever you are going to create a cloud flow, there are three building blocks. What are these three? Power Automate Cloud. Three building blocks. In the interview also they will be asking. There are three building blocks. Whenever you are going to create a cloud flow, there are three building blocks. One is, first of all, one is trigger. What is meaning by trigger, guys? What is meaning by trigger generally?
Means how we can start the bot.
Yes. How we can execute the what? A trigger, right? What will run the flow? Suppose what is the starting point of a flow, right? What is the starting point of a flow? Suppose how we want to trigger the flow, how we want to execute the flow, when you want to execute the flow, when you want to execute the flow, sometime when you want to execute the flow, in the sense, I have received an email, like I have received an email that contain, I want to process an invoice, but has to process. Whenever that, whenever the bot has received an email with an attachment to process that invoice or some XYZ, that time, that time, the execution of that flow will be starting. Means trigger in the sense, what is the starting point of a flow? What is the starting point of a flow? Suppose think, whenever I have received an email, I want to execute the flow. Whenever whenever any task assigned to me, I want to. Whenever the new details has been added into Excel file, I want to trigger the flow like that. That is the requirement. See, click on this. See here, there are different type of triggers are available. See here, when an item is created, when a new response is submitted. Suppose as a part of RPA vault. Suppose think, suppose like they like multiple guys are they are right inquiring about the course. Whenever they have submitted, RPA vault asks us to fill the form. Whenever response is submitted, right, then like they will be running the bot automatically trigger in the background whatever the details you require, right? They, according to that, they will be providing those details. See here, when a file is created, suppose, right, new file is created in OneDrive, then I want to start the execution of that flow. Okay, when a task is assigned to me, okay, these things, when a new email is arrives, this is the Gmail thing. When a new channel message is added, then what are the things? These are the things through DevOps. Three here, when a new email arrives, when an email is flagged, when an email is flagged before, these are the different type of persons also. Okay, according to this, there are so many trigger conditions are available. See here, according to your requirement, you can select, you can, we can plan for, we can you can plan for the starting point of a flow. Okay, this one, instant cloud flow. This is right where, suppose, right, I want to without automating or without schedule, some there might be the requirement, right? You have created a, you have implemented a, every 10 minutes you want to uh, you want to send an reminder or something, you want to debug something, you want to test or something, like you can use the instant cloud flow. Schedule, anyway, we have discussed as per your business requirement at particular time, at particular time you want to trigger the bot, you can okay. Now I am going to today just I will show you a simple flow, instant cloud flow. Okay, anyway, this thing. Okay, what are three building blocks of the Power Automate, there are trigger actions. Suppose what is the trigger in the sense, when you want to trigger, when you want to execute the what is the starting point of flow, this one. And when you want to when you want to when you want to execute the flow, what is the starting point of flow, that comes into trigger action. The thing, once the flow execution will start, what actions you want to perform. Suppose, whenever, take an example, whenever you have received an email, what actions you want to perform, whether you want to reply to that email, whether you want to save the attachment, or like what action you want to perform, like you can perform those actions. Connector in the sense, basically, suppose whenever you have received an email, I want to send an email automatically, one thing, then you should have to, I want to send an email to some xyz, right? Right, for that purpose you should have to connect to the Outlook, right? That is the main thing. Suppose I want to send an email. After receiving an email, second thing, I have received an email. Then, if that email is having any attachment, I want to save those attachments to OneDrive. For that purpose, Power Automate Cloud, how it is going to connect to the OneDrive? Which OneDrive? In your local, don't worry. Okay, but you are storing that into some other external, right? Some other OneDrives. That time, right? You should have to provide. How Power Automate will come to know that where you are going to store that. Okay, that comes into the connector things. Okay, these are the major building blocks of Power Automate: trigger, triggers, actions, connections. Okay, in the interviews also they will be asking, okay, this thing I'll be providing each and everything, don't worry. See, just I'm like, just I want to send an email. Okay, now I'm going to create a for a Power Automate cloud flow to send an Gmail, or whatever it may. Just I'm saying, create a Power Automate call for send an email to Gmail. Now here, right? I don't want to here. What is which flow you are going to select, guys? I want to just I have a simple thing. I want to send an email. Which flow you are going to select? I told you there are three different type of flows, cloud flows: automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, schedule. Like which is suitable for this? I have a requirement. This is the requirement. I want to create a Power Automate cloud flow, right? Like, what is your suggestion? Which cloud flow you are going to select here, guys?
Automated cloud flow.
No, automated. It's not automated in the sense, right? Basically, triggering, right? Whenever you want. But here, I just I have simple thing. I want to send an email, but I don't want to write automated cloud flow. Automatically, the cloud flow execution will be starting point. When some event occurs, that cloud flow execution will be starting. But instant here, right? I have simple requirement. Create a Power Automate cloud flow to send an email to Gmail. Here, right?
Okay, might be instance cloud flow.
Yeah, yeah. Here, right, there are different. See, triggering, whenever you are going to create any type cloud flow, I mean to say, uh, not schedule, this one, automated cloud flow or instant cloud flow. At least flow, flow name, that is common, but you have to select this. Okay, see here. Choose how to trigger this flow. Here, right, what is our requirement? I want to trigger this flow manually. I want to send an email. I want to send an email manually. I don't want to automate. I don't want to trigger a flow automatically. I want to send an email manually. Okay, select this one. But see, trigger, whenever you are going to create a cloud flow, either either automated cloud flow or instant cloud flow, trigger will be mandatory. With in the interviews also they will be asking, whenever you are going to create any, is trigger is mandatory or not? Yes. Okay, just Select this. Done. Create. Here also see Copilot everywhere. If you are install, it will. If you are having a license, then this one it will be automatically coming. There are two types of designers. Okay, this is modern nowadays, right? Microsoft even for the different applications also modern controls, classic in the sense old one. I will show you. Nowadays, if you are comfortable, if you are not comfortable, you can go ahead with this. This is the classic old one. Okay, but accents will be same and connectors will be same. Okay, don't worry, but look and feel will be different, but options will be different here. Okay, I will, I will show you the once we have completed this implementation of this cloud flow. See, manually trigger a flow. See here, new designer. This is the new designer. New designer. It is calling as a modern. Okay, and previously it is a classic designer. Recently they have implemented. See, in the interviews also they will be asking, uh, like whenever is like multiple triggers can be associated a single flow, guys. Can multiple triggers can be associated a single flow?
I guess no.
Yes,
No.
that is also question they will be asking. Okay, and also they will be asking what is this thing. They will be asking like what is the difference between trigger and action? Like what type of triggers are available like this. Okay, see here what is your requirement? Send an email. First, I want to send an email. Right. First, I want to create a Power Automate Cloudflow to send an email to Gmail through whether whatever it may be, Gmail or Outlook, whatever it may be. Anyone can provide Gmail address, one or two members in the chat so that I can send an email. First, what we have to, first step, create a Cloudflow. Then, second thing, here, right, I want to send an email through Outlook. Through Outlook, right? How Power Automate Cloudflow will be sending an email through Outlook. That comes into the fixer connections. Okay, there are two ways you can create connections instead of flows, otherwise separately. But as a best practice, don't create the connections inside of the flow. But anyway, now just this is the simple example, right? Just I am creating a connection inside of Cloudflow. Okay, but that is not a best practice. Okay, see here, click. See here, insert a new action after manually trigger a flow or right click for more options. If you want to right click, you can see here. But anyway, click on this. See, add an action. Which action you are going to after manually triggering a flow? What are the actions you are going to perform? Okay, suppose take an example. There is a automated cloud flow you have created. When a new email arrives, what actions you are going to perform? Whether you want to reply automatically or whether you want to save all the attachments to the OneDrive. Here, what is our requirement? There are different type of connectors are available. See, guys, all connectors. See, A Builder, Control, Mail, Desktop, Microsoft Forms, Outlook. Okay, there are different Adobe, Salesforce, Oracle, everything. There are so many connectors. More than I'm not sure that like more than 1,000. Still, like it is like they are adding more connectors to the list. Okay, dynamic everything according to your requirement you can select. Now, what is my requirement? I want to send an email through Outlook. Not Office 365 Outlook. If you are selecting Office 365 Outlook, you should have a subscription. Okay, that is the reason. See this one, outlook.com. You can create a outlook.com account simply without subscription, without Office 365 subscription. See here, what are the different actions are available? You can create a contact, you can create an event. Okay, you can send an email, you can send an email with options in the sense yes or no. If you want to delete a contact, if it is already added, If you want to delete any particular email based on from our subject line, okay, if you want to delete any particular event, you can. Now, what is our requirement? We are going to send an email. Otherwise, see here, Outlook, you can see Office 364. See, get Outlook category names, send an email, send an HTTP request, create event. These are the options. Okay. Now, what is our requirement? What is our requirement? We have to implement a cloud flow that can be that can be sending an email to some XYZ recipient. Okay. Here comes into the picture. These are the different options. See, action timeout. This will be discussing elaborately. Just okay. Right. If you want to retrieve, whenever you are going to send an email, like these are the actions. Retrieve policy. Okay. None. None in the sense it won't retrieve. Okay. Fixed interval. You can like how many times you want to retrieve. What is the interval of each retrieve? Okay. This one. You don't worry. See here. I have already created the connection, but I will let you know that I'm going to create a new connection. See, it is already added, but if you want to create a new connection, click on new connection. See, with account you are going to create. Now, without creating a connection, you won't be able to send an email. Okay. If there might be a requirement through Power Automate, there is a requirement you want to implement a cloud flow. That cloud flow can be able to retrieve the data from the SQL Server database table or Oracle or Excel, whatever it may be. For that purpose, if it is SQL Server, then you should have to create a SQL Server connection. Okay. Anyway, here I am selecting default. Okay. We're not going to retrieve. 3C here, like if you want to create, you can create. Okay. I already created, but if you want to change, you can change also. Okay. What is the action we are going to, for this action, for performing send email action, we are going to connect this connection. Okay, through this connection, how Power Automate Cloud Flow will be able to identify through which Outlook account the mail can be sending. Okay, that is the reason. Okay, here just provide some email addresses, guys, one or two, just for just send me one Gmail address, anyone.
Yeah, they sent in chat.
Send.
Okay, sorry. Okay, subject. Here also you can according to requirement, and you can implement HTML tags also here. Okay, sometimes that we have to do that formatting and everything. But anyway, right? Importance you can change also according to your requirement. Okay, testing you can perform like settings anyway. These are the settings that if you want to retry you can these things. Code, this is the code. Okay, then click on this. See here, if you comes into right now we have implemented a cloud flow by using new designer. Okay, if you are going back to the classic, this is the okay, 1 minute, save on switch. See here, this is the manually. If you want to add any input you can. This is the send email action. See here, if you want to add dynamic content, suppose we have maintained sometimes, right? In like if you are working for if you have automated if you have automated any business process, mail IDs will not be static, right? Might be for dev, might be you have used your own email address. Okay, for other, right? For other environment might be different, right? In the once you have moved that into production, might be right. I we will be sending an email to the support or like business people. That is the reason we are going to maintain those details in the environment variable. That is the concept of environment variable. Now we have hard coded. That is the year, right? If I am creating these all three, 1 minute, in the environment variable, then we can select that environment like that. Okay. See here, this is the one. This is the formatted one. BR. If you want to include some more braces, you can. So advanced absence, CC. CC, I can give my address. Okay. If you are comfortable, you can go ahead with the modern. Okay. If you are not comfortable, you can go ahead with the classic. But as a beginner, I am suggesting please go ahead with the old one. That is the classic designer. So that like you can compare that. Okay, if you want to add any attachments also, you can add. Okay. Now, without saving, you won't be able to test. See here, this is disabled. Suppose you have changed something. Anyway, this is input. Okay, if you are adding some action here, new step, but their action is coming. Suppose. Anyway, it is getting failed. Okay, 1 minute. See here, right? If you want to perform whatever the flow you have created. Okay, anyway, this is the manual trigger flow. But right, even if you have created any automated cloud flow, then like whenever you want to test, even you can perform the test, but that time the flow execution will be starting what is the trigger condition you have used. Okay, suppose when an email received, that time only like this one, this flow will be triggering, otherwise nothing will happen. Anyway, what is our requirement? Right, we have created a, what is your requirement? We have to create a Power Automate Cloud Flow to send an email from Outlook to any other Outlook account or Gmail account or some XYZ. Click and select manually, because automatically, in the sense, if you run previously this flow, then if you want to automatically, you can select this. Okay, but anyway, this is the first time we are running this flow for testing purpose. Save and test. It is sending an email. See here, this is the green tick. Green tick in the sense this is the valid connection. If it is cross highlighted in the red color, it is an invalid connection. If you want to change, you can change also. See here, but I'm like suggesting, it is not a best practice. Don't create a connections inside of the flow. Instead of that, create a connections separately. Okay, but also while creating a connections also should have to follow the naming conventions. Naming conventions in the sense, why? Because SQL Server. 1 minute, I will let you know. I think you might be, we don't require that step also, manual thing. See here, I think you might be received an email. This is green tick in the sense it is successful. If there is any red mark, it is not successful. Suppose you have a multiple actions. Sometimes right, some of the actions may getting failed. Okay, you might be received an email. See, guys,
Yes, got it.
yeah, like that. This is the simple gesture. As like today was our first session, right? That is the reason. But we'll be discussing here, right? There are so many things, variables we can discuss. What are the different type of from simple to complex? We'll be practicing as part of like our training program, cloud and as well as desktop wise. That's all from my side for today's session. And tomorrow we will be discussing the variable concept. What is variable? What are the different type of variables are available, and how we can implement those variables by using use cases. I mean to say we can practice some of the simple uh, use cases by using those variables. But anyway, don't think that that is not a end to end. Okay, just like for each and every concept we will be practicing, and after that like we will be integrating those into what we have discussed, guys. Today we have discussed in the sense what is Power Platform, right? What is the purpose? What are the tools are available as part of the Power Platform? What is Power Automate? And what is Power Apps? What is Power BI? I mean to say not elaborate, just Power BI. It is basically used for the creating the dashboards and reports for analyzing the data. Power Apps used for create your own business applications. Power Automate can be used for the workflow automation as well as automating the access which you are going to perform on your desktop. And Copilot Studio. Previously, it is calling as a virtual agents, right? Yeah, Copilot Studio. It is right. Basically, it is we are going to create a agents. Okay. Then Power Pages. Power Pages. If you want to create any external websites, we can go ahead with the Power Pages. And also one thing, I said Power Platform. It is a no code, low code, right? If you are not having IT background or if you are not having a coding experience, also you can able to run. That is the reason Power Platform it is calling as a no code and low code. Okay. And also dataverse, I'll be explaining something. But if you are working for RPA or robotic process automation, most of the 99% we are not going to touch with dataverse. But anyway, like if you are switching to another companies, there might be asking the interview questions on the dataverse. That is the reason I'll be explaining that. And also I explained what are the components. Different components are as part of the Power Automate. One is Power Automate Cloud Flows, second one is Power Automate Desktop Flows, third one is Business Process Flows. Power Automate Cloud Flows, it is basically used for the workflow automation. Okay. Power Automate Desktop basically used for automating the actions which you are going to perform on your desktop. Basically it is a one of the tool for implementing the robotic process automation concept. Business process flows can be right. Suppose it can be right based on you have it mainly used for the uh, model driven applications. But anyway, for your purpose, for your understanding purpose, just I'll be explaining once. I'll create one simple business process flow. I'll be explaining end to end. That is the reason. Then how we are going to access the Power Automate through make that Power Automate. How we are going to access through that, and what are the prerequisites to require to get the access of Power Automate. One thing, either you can Microsoft Office 365 subscription. Otherwise, you should have a Visual Studio subscription, or otherwise, right, the developer subscription. Anyway, I will be creating on behalf of you guys. Don't worry. Then we have discussed about Power Interface, Power what are the different options are available in the Power Automate. Then we have discussed connectors, what are the different type of connectors, and we'll be discussing elaborately once you are creating the connections. Then we have discussed about what are the building blocks of Power Automate. In the sense, triggers, there are three main. Whenever you are going to create a Power Automate flow, cloud flow, one is trigger. Trigger in the sense, what is the starting point of when you want to start the execution of a flow, right? When take an example, when a new email arrives, you want to reply automatically when a new email arrives. right? If there is any attachment, if you want to save those attachment automatically on OneDrive or some XYZ data source, that one. Action in the sense, whenever the execution will start, what are the actions you are going to perform? I mean to say, example, when an email arrives, right, you can automatically reply. You want to perform the action, you want to automatically reply, or you want to automatically save the attachments if there is any to OneDrive or some XYZ data source. Connector in the sense, suppose I want to send an email, right? You should have to how for automatic cloud flow, by using which account it is going to send an email. For that purpose, you can create a connector. But anyway, we'll be creating the connections for like different as part of our training session, right? We'll be discussing SharePoint also. Don't worry, SharePoint also important. What are the different actions you are going to perform on SharePoint? Okay, those things. I'll be providing the access to the SharePoint also for all you guys. Okay, then just we have practiced that how we can create a simple Power Automate cloud flow to send an email to Gmail through Outlook. And also, I told you there are three different type of cloud flows are available: automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, and scheduled cloud. And also one thing, guys, I have forgotten. Sorry for that. Here, right, settings, right, you want to know. And also we'll be licensing, I'll be providing some document, don't work on that. But if whenever they'll be if you are appearing for intro questions, what is the licensing mechanism and how much cost it is, okay, I will explain that, don't worry. See here, click on settings. 1 minute. See, this is admin center, but anyway, if you are logging to admin center by using your credentials, just you are a maker only, but you don't have admin rights for that. Okay, that is the reason you won't be able to see all these things. But if you want to see the options, I will show you that. See here, if you want to see view all Power Automate settings, see here, language, which language you want to, okay, and regional format, whether it is United States or India or like. Authoring settings. Use new versioning experience with save draft and publish for solution flows. This is for solution. Experimental features, right? Suppose if there is a new features added, that is for only experimental purpose, we can. But anyway, by default, it is set. If you want to change, you can change. Okay, see, view my licenses. Whatever the licenses allocated for you. See here, my licenses, Power Automate for Office 365, Power Automate free for this one, Power Automate plan to trial. This will be like expires on when April 8th. Okay, these are the capabilities I am having based on like my login. Okay, standard connectors, premium connectors also. That is the reason those are available. Custom connectors we can on premises. See, robotic process automation, they can two, right? Two, right? Attended and unattended. Once, right? As once we have started the actual training on our Power Automate desktop, then I will be explaining that. Then business process flow, process mine. These are the licenses I am having based on my trial account. Okay. You will be getting all the licenses also. You don't worry. I'll be creating. That's all from my side for today's session. If you are having any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, even if it is simple or like complex, whatever it is. Please, guys. Any questions? Anyone? Please. Jahir, anyone? Ashok, Nandis, Praveen, Prashanti, Hari. Okay, guys, that's all from my side. I hope no one is having any questions. Okay, shall we conclude the session for today? Okay, guys, have a good day. Thanks for joining and see you by tomorrow at the same time. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Thank you.